HSBC presents CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, powered by Parity.
Welcome to HSBC presents CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, co-presented by HCLTech as we change the narrative. Today, we're focusing and highlighting how HCLTech is not only driving innovation through its generative AI initiatives, but also placing women and other diverse groups at the center of this transformative journey. With generative AI poised to redefine industry, HCLTech is leading the charge in embedding inclusivity and ethical practices into its tech strategies. So joining us to talk about this very important issue, we've got Vijay Guntur, President, CTO and Head of Ecosystem at HCLTech, and Dr. Heather Dorman, Vice President and Head of Office of Responsible AI and Governance at HCLTech, who will shed light on how the company is making groundbreaking strides in AI while cultivating diverse leadership. So Vijay, let me start the conversation with you. Now, generative AI is hailed as this big technological shift, a panacea to all problems. So from your perspective, how is this technology shaping the future of work and innovation, particularly in driving diversity and inclusivity?
If you think about the opportunity that it presents, this is expected to be anything between $2.6 trillion to about $4.3 trillion annual impact to the overall GDP of the world. So this presents certain opportunities for people who are very enthusiastic and organizations that would like to take this forward in terms of innovating with the technology and creating the choice of platforms, the choice of technology for various industries to use it. Think about companies like the Magnificent Seven. These are companies that are investing significantly in the AI technology, and there's a whole ecosystem of startups that are investing in building technology choices for various enterprises to use. That's the first opportunity. The second opportunity is for firms across various industries to adopt. And there are companies that are enthusiastically adopting it, and there are a few who are late adopters of this technology. And as you can expect in any technology transition, you will have a few that will be waiting and watching and probably being late to adopt, probably laggards in this space. Now, for all of them, there are opportunities that are getting presented in terms of the technology and opportunity to disrupt their own businesses and create new value for customers. And I think this presents an immense opportunity for different enterprises. Having said that, there are some downside risks of adopting technology and putting that into enterprises, and there is enough research done and solutions available to take care of these downside risks. I think this is an immense opportunity for enterprises to take and adopt technology and change the way the businesses are being run. I think it's something what similar happened to when internet was in the early stages of adoption. But I think this will be quicker.
The economic potential is huge, $4.3 trillion to the global GDP, and that brings up a lot of opportunity. So just a few quick standout examples on how generative AI is helping solve real-world challenges and improve business processes today.
Certainly, Rina. If you think about the biggest impact it's making to businesses, think about life sciences companies, especially pharmaceutical drug discovery. It's an area where we've seen enterprises and customers adopt the technology much ahead of time. We expect that some low double-digit number of drugs are expected to be delivered by these pharmaceutical companies with this kind of new processes and new technology being adopted. A lot of this we are already seeing, and you see also that the pipeline of new drugs that companies are going after has increased significantly, and the ability to take care of patients who have rare diseases and have a chance of getting a new drug effective is much more higher. That's one example. The second example you can think about is today healthcare across many parts of the world is still not uniform. It's still spotty. Some of the very populous parts of regions of the world get better healthcare than not so populous regions. With the technology that generative AI is able to deliver, we are able to get much more quality healthcare and similar kind of services being delivered remotely to many parts of the world. In a hospital healthcare system, nursing is the most important and efficiency creator in the whole ecosystem. So if you can create efficiencies in how the nursing care is delivered to patients, we will see that the overall system will work much more effectively. So handoffs between nurses usually take a couple of hours between shifts. With generative AI, we expect that it will come down to under half an hour, which means we will be able to do a lot more efficiently deliver nursing care to patients who need. One last example, again in healthcare, which we work with customers, we built a solution which will help clinicians deliver patient care which is personalized in a much more efficient manner.
Dr. Heather, generative AI is acting as an equalizer even in the healthcare space. It's providing quality healthcare more ubiquitously. So come to you. How can generative AI act as an equalizer when it comes to women's inclusion in technology? And you being a part of the industry, how can we ensure that women and other underrepresented groups are at the forefront of this revolution, and what actionable steps are critical for fostering diversity?
In fact, this glaring disparity that we have right now in the AI industry, where women and other groups are underrepresented, is really an important issue that we need to look at. And in fact, it can lead to where we have, issues with overlooking crucial insights that we need to drive really good quality AI systems and innovation. And so, and this is really, we can think about some examples where that's true. There are cases, Vijay brought up healthcare, right? Healthcare, and there are certainly many organizations in the healthcare industry looking at things like AI, patient diagnostics, how do we help identify things? But this, if not done with a diverse team and with diverse data sets, can lead to disparities in care. And we can think about things like large firms who are looking to recruit diverse talent. And if there are biases or inefficiencies in their process, obviously, that could lead to issues in their hiring process and the quality of what they produce as an organization and the innovation that they can drive. We can think about things like facial recognition technology. So this is, there have been studies showing, large gaps in, the ability for that technology to perform. For example, misidentifying gender, where you had error rates for white males less than 1% and error rates for, light dark-skinned females more than 34% of the time. And that's a huge gap. And this has real-world consequences. We can think about, issues in law enforcement and other areas that are really critical. And we need ethical AI initiatives. We need the right tools and resources for developers as they build AI systems. And we need a commitment from organizations and communities to support women in advancing their technical skills and their ability to participate in this field. I really think it's all of our responsibility.
Any other examples other than facial recognition where there are biases in the output? Any other examples that come to your mind?
We see it in generative AI when we're testing for issues that relate to potential really severe consequences like political misinformation. There was an exercise done in DEF CON 2023, a red teaming challenge, and what they found is actually that red teamers bring their own biases into the testing. And so what this means when we test our systems for potential biases, making sure that they don't have this unintended consequence, right? It's unintended bias, we need diverse teams because they found, for example, the red teamers who were largely male and largely from the United States, when they test for things like political misinformation, they were testing for U.S. political issues. And this was, there was no guidance to them to look at U.S. political issues in particular. They did that based on their own bias. And the same thing, when they were looking at factually incorrect statements based on demographic groups, there was much more reference to males versus females. The occurrences were more than 4 times as many. So it was clear and is clear that, as we look to address bias and those sorts of issues, even in generative AI, through exercises like red teaming, if we want those outcomes to be inclusive and, equitable, we have to have diverse teams.
Vijay, so women hold only 22% of the technical roles in AI globally. That's abysmally low. What, according to you, is the reason for that? What are the biases that have traditionally hindered women's progress in tech? And now, if going ahead, we want to ensure gender diversity, what can we do? What is HCLTech doing, for instance, to create opportunities for women?
Several initiatives that we are taking, and I'll talk at least about two of these initiatives. The first one is we are making sure that our entire process of hiring people is a lot more equitable. We are using generative AI in this process to make sure right from the job description generation to the matching process, there's a lot more equitable way of doing it, and human bias is reduced. That's the first thing that we are doing. The second big thing we are doing is we're developing technology that can help workforce be a lot more inclusive. And this is accessibility technologies which are for products. Like, for example, we are developing code assist extensions, which as you write code can make sure that code is accessible. That means when you deploy that code, people who are using that system are people with different abilities can use those systems. And we're building those kind of tools which will help systems which are being used by people in organizations to have a more diverse, more equitable workforce.
Dr. Heather, you want to come in? How can we inspire more young women to explore careers in AI and technology? And what are the specific skill sets that they should focus on?
Yeah, thank you. It's an important question. I think that, there's a huge opportunity for women and underrepresented groups to get into AI. And I think that as AI increasingly takes on repetitive tasks, and this, really presents an opportunity for women and other underrepresented groups to basically free up time, and it helps level the playing field, and it helps, with being able to take advantage of that opportunity. And I think that, women bring incredibly diverse life experiences, and diverse teams are more effective. They're better at finding quality solutions to problems. And I think that women need the technical skills, of course. We need more women getting into the technical field, but they also will need human-centric skills to think about human empathy and the ways in which we interact, which are so important. And as AI can increasingly take on more tasks, and we're getting towards this more agent-based future where AI actually is going to be driving and doing a lot of the work for us. These human skills also are very important, and many jobs will be transformed to where we're actually using AI in our jobs. And it also, as we get used to leveraging AI to grow our careers, that's important. So I think just basic comfort with technology is important for women. I myself, often have used AI to help manage my multiple different demands on my time.
Dr. Heather, you explained what women can do. But what can an organization do on its part to prepare the next generation of women leaders?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that, organizations really they need visible leaders. It's one of the reasons that, I have really taken an interest in this field and wanting to be visible. I think women can step up and, within organizations and the organizational culture supporting that is so important, right? So the top leadership within the organization, I've been so fortunate to be supported myself, and where there are cultures that are supportive, and this starts at the top, but even within teams, helping build up women, building that culture of inclusivity. How do we do that? Lots of training. You can have workshops, you can have groups that meet together regularly. One-on-one individual mentoring is important. So you can be a mentor or take advantage of mentoring opportunities yourself and participate. And I think that taking advantage of learning, making it flexible learning, so where we have learning that is available on demand so that people can do it in between things, that I think is all crucial and steps that organizations can really take.
Vijay, you spoke about collaborating with universities, academia. What other partnerships is HCLTech forging, say with policymakers or startups, to foster inclusivity and ethical AI adoption?
So we are working with another hyperscaler and partner of ours, as well as we are working with a government organization, which is a super specialty healthcare provider, and be able to create a system that can predict, let's say, cardiac events 15 days before they occur. How can we predict such systems and make them usable by a large society of people, doctors and physicians, and also by end patients or end users.
Interesting. So Dr. Heather, we've spoken about why we need an inclusive, diverse workforce, what the system can do, what the women themselves can do. But what are the specific challenges that you see in achieving these goals?
Yeah, so I think, there are, this is a field that is rapidly developing from a technology standpoint. All of the time we are seeing new AI use cases develop that we've never seen before, and with that, new potential issues, right? And so staying ahead of that is one of the biggest challenges that the industry has right now. And how do we do that? It's going to take quite a lot of humans in the loop to do that. We need a lot of humans involved to actually test and be thinking about the potential issues, doing things like red teaming, but many other, critical steps along the way, checks that we have, thinking through the use cases and the potential ways in which a system can be used or maybe misused. All of that is really important. And I think, we need to take steps to ensure that as individuals, we're all aware and learning. Growth is incredibly important as we take advantage of new opportunities. So having a growth mindset, and from an organizational standpoint, as we talked about, many different initiatives, training, and enabling a supportive culture will all be critical to the future.
Vijay, share your perspective, right? What are the challenges the industry will need to overcome to create a unified approach to responsible AI development and create a diverse workforce?
Yeah, I think, Rima, the industry has to adopt framework standards. That's the way to be able to build systems consistently and deploy them into production and use, and create a wider adoption. It's also important for us to make sure we are doing this in a manner that can continue to build trust with users of these systems. In the past, we've had situations where, across the world, we have had situations where systems that were put in production had biases, right? And now there's regulation that says, hey, look, there is a penalty for doing it. So organizations are becoming much more conscious, are much more effective today using tools, technologies like Dr. Heather talked about in testing for these kind of biases, testing for responsible AI capability of systems. And I think in the future, there will be certifications as well. We are seeing organizations that are coming with ability to certify other companies of building systems in a very responsible manner. I think standards and certifications are one way, to make sure the industry can widely adopt and build systems with AI in them to solve real world problems.
So as we wrap this very interesting discussion, Dr. Heather, one question to you. Your shared vision for how generative AI and inclusivity can come together to create a transformative, equitable future for all.
Yeah, thank you. So I think, it's just an opportunity, right? So where we have a technology that is advancing at a rapid pace, and many individuals, many of them women, who are interested and want to learn and take advantage of that opportunity that presents to free up time, to be more productive, to explore new career opportunities. I think it's such a wonderful opportunity, and I think that as more organizations are embracing inclusivity and enabling diverse teams, this is how we're going to get to that equitable and inclusive future.
Vijay, same question to you. Your closing thoughts on driving innovation through generative AI initiatives while placing women and other diverse groups right at the center of this journey.
I think the technology companies that are building tech right from, the chip level innovation to models and data center technology and, the usage of these models to build systems have to think about the consequences of building systems that are not inclusive, that are not diverse, right? I think therein lies the fundamental shift that's required to be able to adopt standards, to be able to adopt technology that is being built for creating new systems. I think it's a fundamental culture capability that organizations need to build, and the standards are there to support such systems being built and practices. And if that is embedded in the culture of the company and the industry, I think we will see a lot better, more equitable and diverse and inclusive workforce and systems being built for use by different sets of people with different capabilities, different abilities. So it's much more inclusive, it's much more diverse, and I think technology that enables all this is there and will advance. The regulation and the systems standards will evolve. These going in hand, and the culture of adopting this is what is going to create a lot more enthusiasm for systems that are equitable and diverse and inclusive.
Thank you very much, both of you, for sharing the company's vision and commitment to building a future where technology and inclusivity go hand in hand. And thank you to the audience. Stay tuned to CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, for more insights into how women are transforming the tech landscape. Thank you for watching.
HSBC presents CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, powered by Parity.